All right. Howdy, I'm Nathan. I'm a
Hello.
product manager at Plotly, and I'm joined here with Birk, who is a contributor and board member at MapLibre and was one of the primary contributors to the MapLibre integration with Plotly charts that we released into open source just last month and will be rolling out as the primary tooling powering all the maps and Plotly charts over in the next major release of open source Plotly graphing libraries. So I'm really excited about the change. We've used Mapbox and Plotly since we originally introduced mapping trace types back in 2016, and now we're switching to MapLibre, and it's paving the way for some really exciting new features coming from MapLibre and all the amazing work that Birk and the rest of your team are contributing over there. So, what inspired you to get started contributing to Plotly, and how'd you get involved in the project?
So I got inspired to contribute to Plotly because I knew Plotly a bit. I was introduced to it back in 2017, if I remember correctly. At the time, I was doing a lot of Python work, machine learning stuff. It was pretty new at the time. And I was using Matplotlib and other static libraries and found that Plotly was just better. It's more, you could zoom, you had the interactivity, hover interactivity, all that. And yeah, I was pretty happy about it. And then I found last year this ticket. I noticed this ticket at Plotly that there was a user interest into upgrading from the Mapbox fork to the MapLibre. And I decided to reach out if I could help with that because having worked on Mapbox for a few years now, I knew the diff that was from the fork that was used at Plotly to where is MapLibre today. And knowing that diff makes it much easier to know what are all the pitfalls in doing such a migration, what is the capabilities today, like the change in feature sets and so on. So I um, I got the go ahead to do that and made this pull request to show that it's actually possible to do the integration. And it was well received, and there were some few adaptations that we figured out, and then the Plotly team took it from there.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest parts is figuring out naming. It's one of those
Absolutely.
classic hard problems in computer science, naming
Mhm.
things. So, but yeah, we're really excited. Well, one exciting thing about this integration is we'll be able to follow the MapLibre roadmap. So, what are you working on over there? What's coming down the pipe in MapLibre?
Yeah, so maybe I can start saying just what has already been delivered with MapLibre. So there's some, for instance, full port to like TypeScript. Compared to the phone, there's already WebGL2 support with a fallback to WebGL1. So that is coming, that is already in Plotly with this. Um, so, and that now we're working more on the like graphics engineering side of things. So we will very soon be releasing a globe support with the new version 5 pre-release, and there's the the team is working really hard on that right now. And then there's also we're growing the team with more graphics engineering forces because we also have a request for more custom projections. That's the most requested feature right now in GeoJS, and we hope to be able to deliver on that. So that's some exciting things, and then there's always a lot of interest in WebGPU, which we haven't really started working on yet, but it seems like it's inevitable at some point to move towards that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know our community should be really excited because just by upgrading the library, you basically take advantage of 4 years of development improvements to
Yeah.
the underlying map stack that Plotly is using. So we've been pretty much stale with the way that our maps work, and you'll see performance improvements out of the box. The underlying library is obviously significantly modernized as you're describing, and one feature I'm really excited for is projection support. That's
Yeah,
really
me
cool.
too.
And we have
Yeah.
some projections in the Plotly charting library now, and I'd love to bring forward those to the next level with a MapLibre backed
I
projection system.
completely agree. I work a lot with governments and data from countries all over Europe, and they all have everything in their custom local projections for their countries, and I have to convert all of it to the Mikeda and be able to use it. So it's also something I'm super excited about, and the other projects I work on really need that. So yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be sweet. I'm super excited. So both of these projects, MapLibre and Plotly, are open
Mhm.
source. So what excites
Yes.
you about working in open source and contributing not just with core projects that you're involved in, but with other projects that you see in the field like Plotly?
I think open source is really great for a few reasons. It's great to have this collaborative environment where everybody can bring these contributions to like a shared foundation, so they can solve something for themselves, and then they can also solve it for anybody else who might hit the same issues later on. So that's amazing. So everybody ends up with having the best of both worlds to some extent, compared to if you sell something for yourself and another company sells something for themselves. Another thing is it's more resilient. So you're not really you have this functionality. It's not dependent on somebody necessarily earning money on it constantly. You have this functionality you have today. You can keep that and keep it running. So that's a really that's some main reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, here at Plotly, we've had a massive benefit from community members contributing to the project, and we end up seeing huge variety of use cases that oftentimes we don't even expect.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my favorite parts of the job. So absolutely, like we love open source, and it's great to be able to integrate the latest changes from a project like MapLibre into Plotly. So if you're using Plotly libraries today, you can get started with MapLibre with pip install minus minus upgrade. That's pretty much it. And if you're using the JavaScript libraries, you can also get set up with the latest changes. We have a migration guide available on our documentation. And you can also see a document which Birk and I co-wrote, which talks about some of the changes, how we thought about the API and some of the API changes here. And of course, some of those features that we're both really excited for in both MapLibre and then eventually in Plotly charts. So thank you so much for anyone who's using Plotly. Make sure to check out the MapLibre community and maybe make some contributions over there. So
Yeah.
thanks,
Happy
Birk.
Madden.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
All right. And back over to the rest of the presentation.